I'll be starting off by giving a demonstration of MATLAB IDE. But before we begin, let me give you a small introduction about myself. I have a master's degree in control systems and I am a firmware engineer by profession. I was first introduced to MATLAB when I was in high school and I got addicted to it from then on. I primarily use MATLAB for simulating various control loops and to simplify complex real-time systems.
MATLAB IDE. The IDE you are seeing is for MATLAB 2010 A version, that is version 7.10, which is quite old cause, well, it is old and I have a license for it. So all my videos will be based on this version of MATLAB. Functionality wise, whatever works on this IDE will work on all the new IDEs. As we are only touching the basics in this course, hence that is going to remain same all over. In this video, I will be focusing only on three components of the MATLAB window. First is the current folder, then second is the command window, and third is the workspace. We will look into file menus and other stuff one by one. Current folder window shows what is the current path the MATLAB is referring to in your system. This shows the directory and files inside this current path. Path can be changed by changing the path from this bar and selecting the directory you want. Once you set the path, you can start working with files in those directories. Command window is where all the magic happens. We can run all sorts of command and mathematical operation on it. We can do addition like 10 plus 2, we can do subtraction like 12 minus 2, we can do multiplication like 10 into 2, or we can do division like 10 divided by 2. We can also define variables like variable 1 as say value 10. We can define variable 2 as say value 15. So a lot of many more things we can do in command window. As you can see, this is an interactive window, meaning it will respond to your commands immediately. Then we have this workspace window. Workspace is where we can store, load or view the variables that we have created or loaded in the MATLAB. As you can see, the variables that I have created are populated here and you can see the value for it in the same. So I have ANS answer, that is the value of 5, then we have variable 1 as value 10 and so on. Let's take a quick look at the file and edit menu of MATLAB. So we have a file menu. In this file menu we have a new file that opens up multiple options. One of the options are script, functions, new class, new figure, new variable, new model, new GUI and new deployment project. So basically in this course we will be working with new script and new functions. Then we have an open command. Open commands open up an open dialog box which allows us to select the files that we want to open with the MATLAB. So I'm going to open a script file with the MATLAB and you can see the file has been opened. Then we have close command window that closes the current command window which you see in the MATLAB IDE. As I'm using it, so I will not close it now. Then we have import data. That opens an import data dialog box where you can select the data you want to import, which then passes it to import wizard, which allows you to select the data you want to import into the workspace. So right now I'm going to cancel it and I'm not going to import any data into the workspace. Then we have save workspace as. This allows us to save all the variables that we have created in the workspace into a single .mat file. Later on we can use this file to import the same variables back into the workspace. So we can name this as my workspace data and we can save it as .mat file. Then we have set path. Set path is here you can see list of all the MATLAB search path. Basically this includes the path to all the toolboxes, all the libraries and all the kits that we have installed with the MATLAB. So as you can see, all the toolboxes have their paths have been defined here. We can add our own toolboxes or we can add our own classes by adding that path to those classes. Then we have preferences. Preferences is something that deals with how our output would look in the MATLAB. As you can see, a sample of sample of code is given here. So basically we can change the color and style of the comment. How presently the comments are green color. System command have different color like as shown as ochre yellow. Then we have normal commands. Then we have strings that have purple. Then we have for command for keywords. So these basically colors and all that stuff. Then we have page setup. Page setup is lays out all the things that we have typed in the command window in the single page, and we can add our headers, print lines, and we can even change the fonts for how we want it to print. Then we have print command that prints whatever we have selected in the to a print sends that all the data to the printer. Then we have print selection. Print selection is something when we have selected something on the command window, then this command activate only the selected thing in the command window. Then we have a bunch of recent files that we have opened that we can reopen by clicking on them. And then at last we have the exit MATLAB. Exiting MATLAB will close the MATLAB, and then we have to restart it again. Then we have edit menu. In edit menu, the first is undo. That undos are previously done step. Then we have redo. That redo is the previously undone step. Then we have cut copy paste. That cut copy paste things to and from the clipboard. We have paste to workspace, that pastes the data that is stored in the clipboard to the workspace. Then we have select all, that selects everything that is there in the command window. Then we have delete, that deletes the highlighted variable in the workspace. Then we have find, that acts as basically as find and replace that we have in Notepad. Similarly, we have find files, that find the files in our set path. Then we have clear command window, which is a command that is basically CLC command that clears all the things we have written in the command window. Then we have clear command history, that clears the command history that you can see on the right hand side, right bottom of the corner. Then we have clear workspace, that is equivalent to clear command, clear all command that basically deletes all the variables and all the data from our workspace.
Let's take a look into command window, like what is command window, what it executes, and what we can execute in it. So the first thing you see in the command window are two arrows. These two arrows is MATLAB asking you to provide a primary input. Primary input is nothing but the command. So I'm going to command him to do an of 10 plus 2, 12 as an answer. So hitting enter executes the command. So whatever command you want to execute, you just have to type the command and then hit enter. So let's create some variables in this case. So I will create a variable 1. I'll assign it a value of 10. I'll create a variable 2. Assign it a value of 15. So now using up, we can go into the command history and we can select any command to be executed. So as you can see, I'm hitting down arrow, up arrow, and I'm changing the command. Now hitting enter will again execute the command. Now there is a command called CLC that clears the whole all the commands in the command window. Now as you can see in the workspace, we have three variables created, that is answer, ANS, variable 1 and variable 2. So in case we want to erase these variables, we can use clear command. Either we can clear by selecting a variable name, say _1, that will 1, or we can just use clear all works. Again I will type CL all the commands in the. Now as you have noted, writing any command, MATLAB always ANS and then assigns the final value to it. So every command, MATLAB uses a temporary variable, that is ANS, that is the default variable, is the operated value. So if I change the command, the answer will get updated to 15. So for each and every command that we execute on the command window, a variable get updated independently. So now another question arises, can we suppress some output? Say for example, we have variable 1, we have variable 2, say 20. Now as you can see, as soon as I type it, replies back by typing the variable and then the answer. Is there a way to suppress this thing? Yes, there is. For output in MATLAB command window, we use the operator, that is semicolon. So I will be adding variable 1 plus variable 2, and I'm going to first what is the answer, we suppress this answer. So I'm going to write variable 1 plus variable 2 using the semicolon. So as you can see, MATLAB will not display you any output. Let's see about how we can call a function in MATLAB. So for the built-in function like square root and like
calling the function and passing the input argument. MATLAB will email you back with the answer. Similarly, other functions include like exponential and all that. So calling function is very simple in MATLAB. We just call the function and pass the input argument. Pass variable in this. So as we have already created some variables, I am into these functions. Here are some common commands that are commonly used in the command window. So the table shows the list of common commands. So we have a CLC command that clears the command window. It erases all the commands that we have written. Then we have a clear command that removes all from the memory and from the workspace. Clear and variable 2 and so on. Basically whatever the variable we write, it removes that variables from the memory and from the workspace. Quit command stops the MATLAB and closes the MATLAB IDE. List the variable currently in the memory. List the current variables and size, indicate if they have imaginary part. Colon command. Colon is nothing but creates an array having regularly spaced elements. Then we have a dot command, separates the elements of an array. Then we have colon. Semicolon screen printing that is done by the MATLAB immediately after we type a command. Then we have a ellipse. Ellipsis command indicates that the line has not completed yet. It's an indication of continuing a line. Shown in this slide are some common functions that I have shown in the command that we commonly used in MATLAB. So we have an exponential function that is e raised to x that for any input argument x it raises it to the power e input. Then we have a square root function that is obviously returns the square root of any input argument. Then we have natural logarithmic function that returns the value of our input argument x. Then we have log of base 10 that of base 10 value of any input argument. Then we have cosine function, sine function, tangent that returns the cosine, sine, sinusoidal and tangent of respective output. Then we have cos inverse x that is a cos. Then we have sine inverse called as a sine, and we have tangential inverse that is called as remove. Each returns the inverse of its respective input. Plotting in MATLAB is one of the most feature of. So I'm going is done in MATLAB. So I'm going to create basically an array. Then I'm going to create a void. Is the say for example array x, and now I'm going to put these two things. A void, and it takes some time to plot. So it will open, which will have its own menu bar, its own toolbar, and it will plot me sinusoidal value. This is how a plotting looks in this. So there are multiple in plotting that we will look in the further video. We can zoom into any section or any timeline, say x-axis, or we can pan it, we can pan all the points, we can mark some points, we can all that stuff. Arrays in MATLAB. MATLAB is basically called a laboratory. So everything and anything in MATLAB matrix. So matrix, arrays and used interchangeably, but there are differences in them. So what I'm typing here now, 2, 3, this basically, so what is a vector? Vector is something having only one row or only having one column. Having one row, it can have multiple number of columns, like in this. Having one column, then it will have multiple number of rows, like in this case. So these two are called vectors. Now is in matrix. So with this, here you can see we have 2 rows and 3 columns. So this is called an array. So it will be an array of 2 rows and 3 columns. So what is the between when we say matrix, arrays and vectors? It's a huge subset. Under that we have arrays that can be of multi-dimensional, like 2 cross 3, 3 cross 3, 4 cross 3, 5 cross. We also have vectors that are one dimensional, 1 cross 3, 1 cross 8, 1 cross 9, or 3 cross 1, 8 cross 1, 5 cross 1, something like that. So these are the subtle differences that is called matrix, vectors and arrays. Each and every in MATLAB is handled matrix. So everything in that we define in a MATLAB is basically an array. So if we say 1, basically it is a 1 cross 1 array that we have defined here. A scalar value, so it's basically a 1 cross 1 dimensional array. Similarly, every computation that happens in MATLAB happens based on an array. Middle of a vector of a array x. So each and every element of x got signed function.
So this is like a small introduction to what are matrices and what MATLAB is called a laboratory. Whatever command that we run in command window can also be executed script through script files in MATLAB. Whatever we type in command window can through a script. So what I'm going to do, open a new script. How this is done. So this is, I'm going to comment that. I'm going to give it a value of 10. I'm going to define a variable b of 15. Addition. I will perform subtraction, and then I will perform division. So as you can see, when we opened a new script, button, editor, untitled script, menu bar, toolbar, and in the editor window we wrote all our commands. So now we'll save it as a sample file, and as you can see it is. Now execute this either by pressing or going to the debug menu and running the sample file.m. Both, as you can see in the command window, all these commands get edited and we get the first step, that is addition, subtraction, and then we get division. So whatever variables that we create in the script file or we are also updated in the workspace. So you can see as we created a variable A has been assigned a value of 10. Similarly, variable B has been updated and value of 15. The interesting thing to note here is ANS variable also get updated after each and every after each and every execute script. So the last value that it holds is the last line that has been run in the script. So as division, so we get a value of 0.6667 stored in the answer variable. This is what we'll look into depth in later videos. There are some effective ways in which we can use the script files. So there are some common rules that we need to follow while using the script files. The first rule is that the name of the script file must follow the MATLAB convention for naming variables. So basically, whatever the convention that we follow to name variables, that the same thing has to be followed while naming the script file. So all the underscores, all the alphabetical characters and all the numeric characters are valid for this scenario as well. Second thing is, as you know that when we type the variable's name, the MATLAB command window returns us with the value stored in it. So the script file that we are writing, its name should not be equivalent to some other variable used in MATLAB. That is because when we execute that script, it will only execute once. So to execute it multiple times, that is more than once, we need to clear that variable. The third thing is we should not give the script file the same name as that of default MATLAB command or MATLAB function. As we have seen, say, square root function, so our script file should not be also named as square root. This is because this will create a kind of conflict that we need to avoid. So we can check to see if a command, function, or a file name already exists by using the exist command. For example, to see if a variable example1 already exists, we call a exist function and pass that variable example1. This will return a 0 if variable does not exist and 1 if it does. So similarly, to see if a m file, like say for example our sample file.m exists or not, we can type exist and pass that file name and pass also a variable that is file before creating this file. This will return a 0. So this will return a 0 in case the file does not exist and a 2 if it does. So finally, to see if a built-in function like example1 already exists, we will again use the exist function and we will pass the argument as built-in. So before creating this file, we can check this thing. So we will get a 0 if built-in function does not exist and a 5 if it does. So these are all the small things that we will look into further deeper in further videos. There is one more thing that I want to talk about is the programming style. This is one of the most common questions in MATLAB, like what is the programming style in MATLAB. So basically for MATLAB there are in a script file it is divided into basically 4 sections. It's not necessary to follow this, but it is a recommended practice. So the first section is the comment section, the second is the input section, third is the calculation section, and fourth is the output section. So comments may be put anywhere in the script file. However, because the first comment line before any executable statement is the line that is searched by the look for command that we will discuss later, we consider putting keywords into these keywords for the script file in this first line. So comment section is like in this section we put the comment. Here we describe like what is the file, what we are going to do in this, what are the number of inputs that we are having, what are the number of outputs where what we are having, and what is the calculation that we are doing. The second is the input section. In this section we either take the input from some files, either we take input as an argument, or either we create our own variable and we ask an input from the user. So input section, here we will define all the inputs that we are going to require for calculation. The third is the calculation section. Here in this section we are going to handle all the inputs, like whether the input is correct or input is wrong, or like how to use this input to calculate our appropriate output, and then we will store these output in our appropriate variables. Then these variables will be part of the output section. The output section is where we have to deal with how to present our data. So we did some calculation and now we need to present that calculation. So all these things are handled in the output section. So output section will have its own variable that we can that will either be taken from the calculation section, or that will be used manipulated values of some variables in the calculation section. So this output section will handle like how we want to present our data. So of data we require to present, like we want it as a variable name then equal to the value, or we want to print it to the file, and so on. So this is the generic programming style that we follow in MATLAB while writing a script. This concludes the part 1 of this introduction. In the next part, I'm going to show you an example script and how this programming style fits into that example script, and what are the steps that we can use to debug those scripts. And from then onwards, we'll move forward. So till then, thanks for watching.